He survived 60 hours. A man was trapped under tons of concrete rubble for more than 2 days with no air, no water, no light. No rescue equipment could reach him. Medical science says humans die within 72 hours without water. He was already pushing those limits just from being trapped. Yet when rescuers finally dug through the debris, they found him alive. Not barely alive, conscious, aware. The doctors who examined him couldn't explain how his body had kept him breathing, kept his heart beating, kept him alive through impossible odds. On August 2, 1989, an 8-story building collapsed in Senginid, Wales during a routine demolition that went catastrophically wrong. One worker, a man in his 30s, was buried under an estimated 40 tons of concrete, steel, and brick rubble. He was completely entombed, no access to fresh air, no contact with the outside world. Search teams initially worked to recover bodies. But after nearly 3 days of excavation, rescuers heard something that stopped them cold. A voice calling out from beneath the wreckage. Someone was alive down there. Someone who should have been dead. This incident is documented in rescue records, newspaper archives, and medical case studies from the time. The Senginid collapse was a significant industrial disaster, widely reported by UK media. Multiple rescue workers and medical professionals involved in the recovery and treatment have given accounts. What makes this story scientifically remarkable is that survival duration without water is typically limited to 72 hours, 3 days. This worker had already been trapped for nearly 60 hours before he was even discovered. The fact that he was still conscious, still able to call out, still alive defies established medical understanding of human dehydration and oxygen deprivation under extreme stress. The worker had been working inside the building when the unexpected collapse occurred. In moments, he was crushed beneath massive slabs of concrete and steel. Somehow, in the chaos of falling debris, a pocket of space formed around him. Not large, but enough. Enough to keep him from being completely crushed. Enough that his lungs could still expand slightly. For nearly 3 days, he remained trapped in complete darkness, unable to move, in excruciating pain. He couldn't see. He couldn't call for help, not at first. But around the 58-hour mark, as rescue teams worked methodically through the rubble, his voice emerged from beneath the debris. Rescuers followed the sound and began the careful, desperate work of extracting him without causing further collapse. His survival hinged on several biological and physical factors working together perfectly. First, that pocket of space, it allowed minimal air circulation, enough for extremely slow breathing. Second, his body entered a state of extreme metabolic suppression. Under extreme stress and compression, the human body can slow its oxygen consumption dramatically. His heart rate likely dropped significantly. His breathing became shallow and minimal. Every cell in his body operated in conservation mode. Third, the trauma itself may have triggered what researchers call the dive reflex, a primal survival mechanism where the body preserves oxygen for the brain and heart at the expense of other organs. Extreme fear, pain, and the pressure on his body created a perfect storm of survival adaptations that most people don't know the human body is capable of triggering. This story reveals something profound about human biology. We are far more adaptable than we believe. The body contains ancient survival mechanisms that activate only in extreme circumstances, systems we can barely measure or understand. For most of human history, we lived on the edge of survival. We evolved to withstand crushing pressure, starvation, dehydration, and isolation in ways we're only now beginning to document. This worker survival wasn't luck alone. It was the silent machinery of human resilience, Mechanisms coded into our cells over millions of years, suddenly activated at a moment when they mattered most. When we understand stories like this, the world doesn't become less mysterious. It becomes more wondrous. One man survived what should have killed him because his body contained survival mechanisms he never knew existed. If this story changed how you see human resilience, subscribe, because barely believable stories like this are hidden everywhere in history, just waiting to be discovered. If you want more videos like this, subscribe and follow Barely Believable. See you in the next one.